So come on, man. All we have to do is relax. That's what I tell people. Relax, man. Relax. As far as we know, this is it. We only got one life. Stop living it like a jerk.
Welcome to the global phenomenon, Surviving the Survivor, where we're all just trying to survive in a rough world.
Karm, I almost didn't make it to the podcast today. We've got a guy on the show who was a Burger King employee, Kevin Ford, for 27 years. That's 3 decades. Never missed a single shift at Burger King, but I almost did not make it to the podcast today. Do you know why?
No.
I could honestly start to cry. Kevin Ford, who we're going to have on as a crier, my beloved Mabel Rose of 16 and over 16 and a half years, started walking at an awkward angle with her head tilted and her eyes a little more wobbly than usual. When I got home from CBS the other night, went straight to the veterinary emergency group. They think she may have had either a mild stroke or she has some kind of blockage in her left nostril because she has a little bloody nose.
Joel?
Yes.
Not interesting.
And the symptoms came back a little last night. I've had her before my wife, my kids, Ethel Bug Johnson,
I
my other
understand
dog.
you love her, but it doesn't belong here.
My love for her is indescribable. The things that she does, she's always full of gratitude. She just wants food. So I went home after the emergency vet and I gave her hamburgers and fish, and she left about 9 piles of diarrhea for me to clean up.
Oh my God, this is so... If people still watch your podcast...
And you have an incontinent husband now, and so we are living similarly parallel lives in a weird way. You call and complain to me, and I call and complain to you. And together,
but I don't put it on the podcast.
Karm, I'm gonna...
That's a huge difference.
Just like our guest coming up, Kevin Ford. He worked 3 decades at Burger King, never missed a shift. I've watched video of him. One of the nicest, most genuine, authentic guys. He would talk about his dog the same way, I'm sure. He's coming up next.
Not on a podcast.
He is coming up next on the Main Schmooze. Do not miss this.
Do you want to help my son? His company, Content Partners Media, specializes in brand video and content creation for innovative companies and others. Please go to www.contentpartnersmedia.com and hire him. I repeat, please go to www.contentpartnersmedia.com.
Welcome back to Surviving the Survivor. It's time now for the Main Schmooze.
Now, Karm, I don't want to bring up a sore subject, but my lovely, beautiful, intelligent wife, Ileana, was working for a 2-bit news organization called News Nation, and she was the morning reporter. And as predicted, in under a year, I said she would not last. And she decided the morning show was too tough, too hard to get up. And what do? You say, oh, Ileana, you have 3 kids. You have to work 4 hours a day.
Joel, she had to get up at 3:30 in the morning.
And
3:30 in the morning.
Let me tell you something. When I started in news in 1996, I worked the overnight shift at MSNBC.
But you were 20 years old. Forget about it.
She's much younger than I am. I don't want to say it's embarrassing how much younger she is.
Okay, but
that
doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
But my point is this. My wife has never worked a job for more than 8. She's worked, if you look at her resume, she's worked in New York, D.C., Philly, network news in Los Angeles, network news here. And a combined total, she's worked 9 months. Why do I bring this all up today?
No, wait a minute. First of all, in the meantime, she got married, moved, and had 3 children.
Why do I bring that up today? Because some people have a work ethic, like me, and my father. My father used to get up every morning, 5:30, and work nonstop. My sister used to come home and start doing her homework in high school from 3 to 7 in the evening. I was terrified of high school because of that. But my wife is not a worker. Let's just say
She's gonna divorce you if you talk like this.
let's just call a spade a spade. However, today we have someone that's not just a worker, but never missed a day of work in 3 decades. And he's only, I believe, a year or two older than me. He looks at least 15 years younger than me, which is why you tell me to shave my beard. But let's tell the audience who we've got today. His name is Kevin Ford. In late June, and today is, what is today? July 29th. But in late June, someone on Reddit, you know what Reddit is, Karm?
No, I really don't.
Reddit is, I don't even know what it is, but it's what the young kids do to post and talk about everything. So in late June, someone on Reddit posted a video of a Burger King employee named Kevin Ford, who is our guest today. The 54-year-old said he received a gift from a person in management, I guess, after 27 years on the job. He never missed a single shift at Burger King in those 27 years. Now, he originally posted on his own Instagram page, which is the Keep777 on Instagram. And Kevin showed off the items that he got from HMS Host, the company from which Burger King hires. And his gifts included, again, this is for 27 years of employment without ever missing a shift. He got a Starbucks reusable tumbler, a bag of Reese's candy, which is never a bad thing. I'm addicted to Reese's. Pens and 2 rolls of Lifesavers and a few other things. Now, if it was me that got that after 27 years, I would have thrown it back in their face. But this gentleman, not only was he elated, he put a video out to thank everyone for getting this. Now, in addition to that, managers at the Las Vegas Burger King, where Kevin works, gave him a slice of chocolate cake, which I do love as well, to celebrate the milestone. I would have taken that cake and smeared it in their face, though. Now, he expressed his gratitude, but the online response was kind of insane. People were not happy with Burger King and HMS Host. And now we have Kevin Ford. Kevin, what has you've stated this, quoted as saying it's been a whirlwind of love. What has this whirlwind of love been like for you?
It's just been amazing. Every day I wake up, I think it's a dream, but it's real. You know, people have just shown me so much love from all around the world that it's just so unbelievable. And I can't believe any of this is real, but it is, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Kevin Carmela is a lesson in life for
That's
everyone.
You know what?
He is a walking, breathing life lesson, something that I will never achieve in my life, which is gratitude.
He is spoiled from way back then.
Spoiled what? Spoiled what?
Spoiled
Yes, ma'am.
But
Well,
let
right.
me tell you something. It's not a joke. It's serious. He always look what my neighbors have. And I agree with the way you feel. You are richer than all his neighbors. Okay. So I think that gratitude, I saw you on, what was it?
The Today Show.
The Today Show, because they sent me a tape. And I got some idea of what happened to you. But it is like there are so many horrible stories out there, you know, every day. It's so many. And this is like just the opposite. It's like the most beautiful thing. And I am very grateful that you came on to talk to us. And I noticed that Joel just went right into it and didn't say, "Hi, Kevin, how are you?" Because before we taped it, we said, "Hi, Kevin, how are you?" So, hi, Kevin, how are you?
He's a good son.
He's a good son. He's a good son, but he expects too much from life.
Unlike those 2-bit anchors on the Today Show, that tired old show, we're going to get to the essence of...
No, don't say anything. He's not a negative
Everybody on there is
person.
awesome.
Don't worry, Kevin. I work in
there.
news. I'm bitter. Don't worry. I'm not like you. This is right off the top of the show. There's no reflection on Kevin at all. This is all from me. But Kevin, So let's
I
break
am
down.
not bitter.
Let's break down some of the numbers. So how many views has your video gotten to this point? It's been like about a month, I think, or maybe 2 months. No, a month.
They tell me, on different platforms, it's over 2 million on certain ones. So I would guess it's over 3 or 4 million on all the different ones. But it's just amazing. I didn't know any of this was going on. I just was saying thanks. The company encourages us to say thanks, and I was just saying thanks for the. You see, I got the Starbucks cup right here. I use it every day.
See, he's grateful.
But,
and let me ask you this. So we're going to get to your daughter as well, but your daughter, after this all happened and the criticism was kind of harsh towards the employment company that hires Burger King employees, she started a GoFundMe. Is that GoFundMe still open? And how much money has been raised on the GoFundMe to this point?
Yeah, I believe it's still open. I think last time I checked, it was over like 300 some thousand. It's just amazing. They have like some type of. She was telling me like some type of contract where you have to leave it up for a certain amount, or you can leave it up for as long as you want. But I'm not thinking about that stuff. I'm just still working. I'm off today, if you can believe that. But I'll be driving DoorDash today, so I work every day. So
you mean you have 2 jobs?
Yeah, I work up at it's a union job, so I work that 8 hours. Then when I get off at 11, I'll drive DoorDash or Uber Eats till maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then on my days off, I drive for Uber Eats and DoorDash for 10 to 12 hours. Now I can, go a little less, but that's my normal routine. It's been close to 2 years just to pay my bills.
Wow. And so you say your days off, but you don't really have days off.
No, I guess, yeah. No, yeah.
You meant your days off from Burger King.
Real job, I guess. Yeah, days off from Burger King, HMS. Yeah.
So I want to circle back to all this, but you said over $300,000. When you get that money, how's that going to change your life? What are you going to do with it?
I'm gonna. First of all, I'm gonna give Serena, who unbeknownst to me started this whole thing. I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't even know the video had gone viral, but I'm gonna give her a portion of it. I'm gonna save most of it. Try to maybe get some type of financial advisor or something to put the money away, and then mostly put money up for my grandkids and my daughters.
Karm, you're waving them off.
No. This is what I was horrified from. Listen, next week in August, I'll be 83.
Let me interrupt for 1 second. My favorite joke, Kevin. What is the difference between Carmela and God?
What is it?
God does not know everything. Go on, Carmela.
I know everything.
She's going to now tell you how to invest your money. Carmela.
Please, okay. I was waiting for this. I was waiting, I mean,
Karm is very smart with money. I'll give her that.
I have 83 years. When we were in the university, we had to go, both my husband and I, we had to beg for them to exempt us of the tuition. This was in Europe. In Switzerland, and the tuition was really low. But anyway, I am telling you all this so you would see that I have 83 years of life experience. Now that you got hold of this money, suddenly you will have all these friends and all these phone calls and all this bullshit.
There's the Karm. That's the Karm. Right. His daughter is Serena, though. Okay, continue.
No.
Continue,
Please. Today, the economic situation is terrible. Anybody who promises you anything, it's not gonna work right now. Your best bet is to put it in a short-term
money market.
Not money market, but government
bonds.
Bonds. Listen, And because you're gonna think of me one day when they con you out.
What
of your
Carmela's
money.
saying is give a little bit of money to your daughter and the rest you put it away into bonds, right?
Short term, because the interest rates will go up. But don't get involved with advisors. They will sucker you out of your money in no time.
Karm, would you help Kevin with using your advisor?
Oh my God.
Would you help Kevin using your advisor?
No, never.
Never? Okay.
Never. I'm not, Kevin, short-term bonds, and this is the last I'm going to talk to you about money, because, they say Jews like to talk about money. We like to talk about love. We like to talk about friendship. We like to talk about the real things in life.
Kevin, listen to my mother. Listen to my mother. Put it into bonds. Bonds are safe. Bonds are safe.
Short-term bonds, you do it yourself. Government bonds, so they can't go under. Government, even if they don't. What means if you buy it short-term, when the interest rates come up, let's say in a year, it matures, and you invest it in a higher interest rate. But don't go with any kind of advisors, because they're going to just do rings around you. And I feel that you deserve this. I think you are an unbelievable person. And not to, to do whole 2 jobs, to really be happy with, be happy with his thought. I'm very enthusiastic.
Don't worry, be happy. Kevin, I'm going to loop you in on an email with Carmela. And if you have any questions, you email or call her.
No.
I'm going to send you her number too. All right.
Hey, so thank you.
Yeah.
I need all the help I can get.
So, Kevin, Karm is also, just so you know, she's a licensed therapist. Karm, again, I want to stress this. Kevin Ford is a living, breathing example of how I should live my life.
No,
but I don't.
True.
But I don't.
It's true.
But I don't.
That's maybe because
I have
of
bitterness
your
and
background.
anger. I have bitterness and anger. He does not. But let me ask you: is he just?
Your sister doesn't have bitterness and anger.
In your,
I don't have bitterness.
But that's what drives me. But in your opinion, is Kevin an unusual person, or am I the unusual person?
I think you are both usual.
But
because there are people who see the world the way Kevin sees, and a certain large degree I see the world the same way he sees it. You have to admit it. He says to me, why do you settle for this very average life? He asked me. And I said, I love my life. I don't think my life is boring or what is it? What do you call it?
Mediocre.
Mediocre. He calls my life mediocre. Would you believe it? Yeah. In the meantime, he's a frustrated idiot, and I am doing well.
So, Kevin, let me ask you this. I'm very curious about your whole being, but let's start. Where were you raised? What were your parents like? And how did you get to this point?
My dad was in the Air Force. So I was born in Spain on a military base. I guess I consider that American soil. So from there, we went to, I think, Kentucky, Louisiana, and then we've been in Las Vegas because he retired from Nellis Air Force Base since 73. So I basically grew up and lived my whole life out here in Las Vegas. And there were 7 of us. I've got 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and I was like I have 2 sisters under me. So everybody else was older than me. But I grew up out here, and it was like the Wild Wild West. I would fight and steal and run around in the desert every day. And when we were raised, we did our own thing. We would take a lawnmower and mow people's lawns and stuff like that for $20. But growing up when we were in Louisiana and even out here, our parents would make us, when we mowed our lawn, we would have to mow the neighbors' lawns and keep everybody's lawns straight, stuff like that. So I got my work ethic from my parents. So my dad, he never even slept in the bed. He was constantly going out to Nellis Air Force tack in and fixing TVs on the side, hustling, stuff like that. So he was constantly sleeping on the couch or on his chair if he wasn't taking my mom back and forth to casino.
So he had military discipline.
Yeah. I always say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. So
I noticed that. I was going to ask you. You weren't in the military, though.
No, but my oldest brother, Alan, he was a Marine, Marine Reserve. And my dad, of course, and my the one under him is a pastor, so I just grew up with discipline and grew up.
Are they in the area of Las Vegas area? Did they stay in the area, or they are all over the country like most families?
Now, later years, the youngest sister, Regina, she graduated from Harvard, and she's in Seattle working for Amazon. She's working for Amazon, but everybody else still is out here. We all live in Vegas.
What'd she do for Amazon with that Harvard education?
I don't know what she's doing. She's working at some front office. She's got my two nieces out there. I don't bother her. She was the first to call me and tell me to get a financial advisor, though. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. But no, I think she just works in the office. When she worked for Caesar's Palace out here, she brought all the concerts and the golf tournaments out here. But I'm quite sure she's not doing that out there. So I don't know what she's doing. Some front office
it's a big
thing.
company. It's a big company.
Yeah.
And are your parents still with us or no?
No, his mother is not.
No, my mom passed probably about 7 years ago, and my dad about 10. And that was the first death that was around me. So that devastated me, and it was just, I love my parents, and I still love them. I still talk to them every day. I just try to honor them and make a better legacy for my children every day. So that's why I work hard, and that's why even when my dad had passed away, they knew he was dying, I was at work and I left early. I've left work early, but I've never missed a shift or anything at my till the day show.
We'll forgive you for that. Let me ask you something. My parents are getting up there, so I'm always asking advice. When you lost your parents, sorry, Mom. When you lost your parents, how did you cope with that? Because I've never lost anyone either. And I don't know. It's just I keep telling Carmela once she's gone, I might have to I don't know how I'm going to go on because she gives me all my advice. So how did you cope with it?
And you are right in the right lane. You're not going to know how you're going to go on. The moments like right now are what you are going to cherish and what you need to cherish. And the only thing that makes that hurt go away, because it'll never go away, is time. That's the only thing that heals losing somebody like your parent or a child or anything like that. So I could give you advice, but everybody's psyche and everybody else is different, and you're going to cope with it different. And I can see the love that you have for your mom, even though you're going back and forth. But I could tell that you probably speak to her every day and you love her.
Just about 17 times a day. It's going to be a very quiet cell phone after she's gone.
And when she's gone 100 years from now, whenever is her time, you're going to wish you spoke to her 18 times a day. So start speaking to your mama every 18 times a day. It's a wonderful thing. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do the show, is to see, you two together, because it's a beautiful thing. And like I said, I'd like to give you some advice, but time is the only thing that makes it. Because you're going to be I drive down the road sometimes and I hear songs, and my dad would go sing on boo, 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 and stuff like that. And I just bust out crying. You know what I'm saying? I miss my dad. I love my mom. So I'd like to give you some advice, but it's going to be different. It's going to be tough. But
I
you're doing
usually...
great.
Believe it or not, usually I avoid giving too much advice, but I'm not feeling bad about giving advice to him, because I know he won't listen anyway. So I don't have any risk about it, But I don't know why I was like, I read many times it's completely a different ballpark situation. Ball game. Like people who win suddenly a lot of money on lottery. and 2 years later they have nothing to show it.
Karm, you're going back to the money right after you said
No, because that's the reason I got like all worked up and gave you
Karm's
advice.
trying to protect you.
But your Harvard graduate daughter gave you the opposite. Follow the family advice, I am saying.
Just make sure the advisor isn't a Las Vegas crook. That's all. Just make sure it's someone respectable.
She's my sister. She's my younger sister. My daughter graduated from Berkeley in California.
Okay.
You guys all go to top Ivy League schools, the Ford family. Can I say something? Kevin just spoke very eloquently about what to do when you're no longer here. As a side note, we had a comedian on last week, and he asked me if I'm going to change the name of the show. If I might have to rebrand the whole show if Carmelo's no longer here. And I said I was going to call it I Survived the Survivor, and all I got was this lousy podcast. That will be the new name.
Because, usually when you go to Las Vegas,
you get those shirts.
T-shirts, My parents were in Las Vegas and all they gave me was this rotten.
But listen, I'm already scheming. I have a way for Kevin to make $30 million, and this is it. I grew up with my lovely mom, my dad, my sister, about 30 miles from New York City. So I was basically in Manhattan with all these snobby New York City people.
Don't say anything.
Everyone goes, they go to, my dad's a retired psychiatrist, by the way, and everyone goes to therapy and therapists and this. Kevin Ford should have kind of like he should be a motivational speaker, because all these idiots that are dropping money, $200-$300 an hour on these shrinks, I'm telling you, you should do that, because your wisdom is far beyond anyone that I know in terms of therapy, except for maybe my father. So my father is unusual. For many years, he did not want to prescribe medicine, and he studied with a man who basically said that your decisions in life is a choice. You can choose to be depressed. You can choose to be happy. Some people may have a chemical imbalance, but you have chosen to be a guy full of gratitude and full of happiness, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had really reserved in my mind that I may not be this, or I may not get my dreams. So I used to do I can't play instruments, but I used to sing and produce and stuff like that. I gave all that up so I could take care of my family and work and stuff like that. So I decided that I'm not going to be, angry or mad about certain things, especially once my parents passed away. And a lot of people sell short, and they don't realize that people at your work passing away is just as devastating sometimes as people like your brothers and sisters, because they're your family. I actually see them. You see the people you work around, and that's why it's such a blessing that you work with your mom. You see them more than you see your family, like 8 hours a day. You might see your kids coming, and going from school, maybe on the weekends, but you see those people. So I worked with a lady over 20 years, and she passed away, and she was like my mom. You know what I'm saying? So that had devastated me. And then somebody else like that. There's like 5 people at work that passed away. There was just so much death in my life. Now I said, I'm going to be thankful and grateful for the little things, and stop. I could still strive for those bigger, lofty things and goals, but I'm going to be happy with going to Dutch Bros and getting me a coffee and headed out to drink, and headed out. And then when I am around my family and friends, I'm going to enjoy those moments, because we don't realize it. But when we're in these moments, these very moments, when you're sitting next to your mom, when you're out with your buddies having a drink, when you're struggling, even when you make it, when you struggle, you look back on all those times, you telling all the stories. I remember when we had a 1-bedroom and all that. Those are the good times. We don't realize it, but those are the good times. That's what we look back on. We always tell those stories of back in the day. And we have to start as humans recognizing that, live in that moment more, because of course it's never coming around again, but that's what makes us human and makes us love each other and makes those days, we got to stress those days when we're barbecuing, when we're sitting down, when moms are cooking, when we're talking to each other. Those are the times that we need to feel and love each other, because that's what we look back on, and that's what makes life worth living.
That's all we have, really.
He sounds just like me, Kevin.
And no, he sounds more like me, the mediocre one.
So Kevin,
no, but Kevin, before you continue, I would like to know, how many children do you have?
I have 4 daughters, 2 from my first wife and 2 from my second wife, and I have 3 grandkids, 2 granddaughters, Charlie and Clara, and a grandson who's the oldest.
I saw that. I saw them.
Yeah.
I saw those.
By the way, Kevin is
go visit them.
Yeah, Kevin's a year older than me and has grandchildren, and I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So another reason Kevin is much smarter than I am. So Kevin, 27 years ago, you're looking for work. How do you wind up at Burger King? How did that come about?
In the airport,
Yes.
right?
I worked at the Hilton, and I was first I was just a porter, and then I moved up to being a stove cleaner. And when I was cleaning the stoves, I was working in Benihana's, and I was cleaning all the stuff, and they had acid that you would clean these tables with, but they didn't give you a oscillating mask. They gave you like a paper mask. So I was falling out, having nosebleeds, and I said, this job's killing me. So when I would leave, whenever I'd leave to my car, there was like TCBY and all these different little food places in this Hilton. And I talked to one of them, and they said, we work for the same union you work for, and we get paid the same. Some of them even more. And I said, why am I killing myself working this, cleaning glasses and piling? We used to cut our fingers when we were doing dishes and stuff. So I went back to the union, and I said, I want to work with, blah, blah, blah. And they had different openings. But I went to the airport and filed at HMS Host, and they immediately hired me. And I started at a Cinnabon at back $5,995. I started at Cinnabon at the airport, and I worked there maybe 4 or some years, and then they opened up another Cinnabon when they opened the Seagate stuff, and then 9/11 hit, and everybody was laid off except for me, because and a few other people, because seniority. They were laid off for only a couple of weeks or whatever, or a few days or something. And then when it came back, they started shuffling people around. And I ended up at Seagate's at a snack bar. And then when they changed that theme, they're always changing these themes. Whenever the guy knew how good a worker I was, who worked at the Seagate Burger King, and he said, as soon as they close this, you can come work for me. So he was a manager, so he brought me over there, and I've been at that Burger King ever since, like 16, 20 years of the 27 years that I've worked for HMS Host. I worked at that Burger King. I've been there, so that's how I ended up there.
And what's your job at the Burger King?
It's just we basically kind of do exactly what any outside Burger Kings and stuff like that do. Sometimes we may be on register. Sometimes we're in the back. I worked register for like the first 6 years, doing fries and handing out the orders. And then people in the back were saying, how come he never has to come in the back? So then I went in the back. And then now the people, I've been in the back ever since. Now the people in the back are always saying, how come he never have to go up front? So you can't make everybody happy. So my typical day is I'm in the back making burgers, sweeping, mopping, doing dishes. The broiler every single night has to be broke down to basically a frame. You have to clean it. So I do that, break it all the way down, scrub it, and put it back together for the morning crew. And we do some of everything. It's, I got a cut on my hand. Just yesterday, I sliced my hand open, was bleeding for like 10, 20 minutes because I was holding a drain open. Because somebody come in from the up another theme and dump some stuff in the sink, it's a job, it's work, so that's what I do.
By the way, I just got an alert on my iPad here that the Mega Millions right now is at almost 1.3 billion. And Kevin, I feel like you're going to win. So go buy some tickets. Use $20.
Yeah.
But
if
Karm,
I go out to state line in Vegas, we don't have that. So we have to drive to state line. We have to go to Utah or California border. And that line is like a mile long. People standing in that line. They can have it. Good luck. I'm not going to stand that line that heat.
I have to tell you something personal. Reason. I was born what used to be Yugoslavia, doesn't exist anymore in Europe.
Yes, ma'am.
And I went to school with a girl whose name was Ksenia Petrovic. And Ksenia Petrovic, it's a long story how and all the different things. She was my best friend through high school. And then she moved to Las Vegas. She lives in Henderson.
Oh, yeah?
Henderson. You know Henderson?
Yeah, Henderson, of course. There used to be a saying, guys say Henderson, of course. Yeah. I was in Henderson.
So I have a very, very good friend from high school, and I'm 83, and we still talk to each other at least every 2 weeks, let's say.
And Kevin, this is what Jewish people do. I asked my mother, how's Ksenia? Oh, she is terrible. She has lost weight.
She's not Jewish, by the way.
She's not
Jewish. She's not Jewish. So
some older Jewish people like to complain about ailments. So every time I would ask, she always says, "Oh, she's on her last. She's been on her last leg for 10 years. The whole time you've been working at Burger King, she's been on her last leg."
Listen, it's not a joke. She is this woman, and I don't think she'll ever hear. But even if she hears it, I'm not embarrassed to say I love her dearly. Her husband died.
Her husband raised llamas.
She never had children. Her friends moved away to a ranch like 400 miles away. And she has a neighbor who is very nice to her, but I worry about her a lot. So don't be surprised if one day I call you, because I truly don't know anybody else in Las Vegas. So
I'll go check on her.
See, I knew Kevin would.
No, I really think that I may ask you, for something
maybe
one of these years, because you are the first other person I met.
It's a deal, Kevin. Karm will help you with finances, and you can go visit her 90-year-old ailing friend.
I am not helping him with finances. I know once you get hold of a lot of money, there are always these con artists and the investment guys who want to take off the thing and they want to con you. So
Kevin, I'm going to connect you with Carmen. Before you make a decision about an advisor, run it by her. She's like Yoda.
No, I feel better. You have the Berkeley daughter. You have the Harvard daughter. You have a lot of family members.
Harvard sister. No, not daughter. You said daughter,
sister. And you have a lot of family. And you are not the type of person who will act like this.
So Kevin, this is a question.
Suddenly and do something foolish.
Kevin, all these years, 27 years, you never miss a shift. There's got to be 1 million annoying customers. Have you or anyone that you know ever done anything to that food? If a customer drives you crazy.
I was just talking about this the other day, and I have 3 things that I never mess with because I don't want anybody messing with me, and that is family. I don't play around with family and friends. I don't play around with money, and I do not play around with anybody's food because I do not want nobody putting nothing in my food or nothing. I've never, ever touched or done anything wrong to anybody's food.
I never even
years. I just don't mess around with those 3 things. And no, I don't know of anybody doing that. Thank goodness, but I'm pretty sure some people probably have because I work with some jerks. We all do. But I've never messed with nobody's food.
But you also work with the public. You work with the public, so there are jerks among the public too. So there are jerks who will be annoying and
And there's
he has to be very patient. He's in customer service, really.
100%. So Kevin, 27 years, you never miss a shift. You work on your days off, but what happened during COVID? Was the store locked down, shut down?
Yeah. During COVID, uh, it came down to where I think they shut the store one day because it's an airport. There was still people flying out. There was, I would talk to some people and they were like, I had the whole plane to myself. I was the only one on that flight. It was me and two other people, but we had to feed the crews. They shut down every restaurant at Seagates. Everything shut down except for us. Lucky Burger King stayed open. So it was me, a lady named Nancy, who's been there 30 years, and like a boss. So when we would come in, they didn't have any shields at this time. We asked for masks and they said, we're not providing you masks. So like the first month or more, we didn't have masks, no shields, nothing. And all the crews, the whole airport, they were still fueling the planes and the passengers came to us. They lowered our menu to where we were only serving a few things, but it was me cooking, cleaning, doing all the porter work, everything in the back, doing all the dishes by myself, doing everything. And then Nancy, who's like, she's like 60, 65 up front. And she's from like Thailand. Mm-hmm. And then the manager, and that was it. She would take all the orders. I would do this. When I went on break, she would keep taking orders. And I had to train the manager how to cook. So I would go sit down and near, because I really didn't get no break. I would have to get up and help him every 5 minutes for my hour. And then when I would come back, I would take the register while he cooked. And so Nancy could take a break. So that was it for like a couple of months. It was just us two running everything. And I have like videos and pictures of like nothing. The whole airport was like a ghost town. It was just terrifying. It was like living a zombie movie, So yeah, it was pretty scary.
And in all this time, these 3 decades of work, I mean, you never woke up and said, I feel like crap today. I'm just not going to go in. What was your inner voice saying, and what were you doing?
Every single day I say, I feel like crap, and I don't want to go in. It's a job. I hate that job. I don't want to, I love the people. I love making money so I can pay my bills, but it's a job. It sucks, so consider yourself lucky that you can sit there and talk to your mom all day, because you don't want to be up there washing dishes.
Don't worry. I still bitch about my job.
Kevin, we only do this on 2 hours a week.
Yeah.
And then he prepares for it another bunch of hours and screams at me that I don't carry enough weight.
The rest of the time I'm working. The rest
of the time he's working like on TV and stuff like that.
The only difference between me and you is I'm making no money. I'm working but making no money.
Oh, stop!
And I don't have a union job. You get health benefits, right?
Yeah, and that's why I went to the Hilton and why I went to the culinary union in the first place, so I could get health benefits for my daughters and my wife at the time, and for myself. So
that's that's most important.
Yeah. But I want to ask a question, because
it's your show, Karm.
Okay, let's say this whole thing happened to you 2 months ago, that you got the plastic thing from Starbucks and so forth, and you put it on Instagram. Ma'am. Would you have 5 months ago, would you have ever expected that what happened to you would happen to you?
No, I never, I still don't believe this, what's going on. I still think somebody's going to break down the door and say, oh, by the way, you got to pay this amount of money on those taxes, or this or that, or all that smiling you've been doing, all that laughing and crying, because I just now maybe took a little half deep breath and stopped crying. I could never imagine anything like this. My daughter started that GoFundMe. It was like Kevin, 27 years, BK on GoFundMe. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know any of that, and then somebody comes, and your GoFundMe. I said, GoFundMe? I didn't know nothing about that. She was just trying to get like a couple $100 so I could go fly and see her. So no.
And that's your daughter, Serena. That's your daughter, Serena. And she said on the Today Show, my dad deserves the world because my dad gave me the world. So you raised good children too. How did that hit you when she said that?
just like you saw it, I bust out crying, and just you saying that is going to make me cry. I just, you just raise your kids because you love them, and aside from your duty as a good citizen and a good mom or dad, you just raise them, and you hope that they have even a smidgen of inkling of how much you love them and your duty toward them and everything. And for her to say that on national TV, it made my life, let alone my day. So it let me know that at least I did something right. I did something right. So, I just want to have fun and touch a few lives and pay a few bills and retire and complain about life like Richard Lewis or something. I just want to love people and be loved and just have fun every day. And for her to say that, oh my God, it beyond touched my heart. It made my life. So just like everything these people, every single cent that these people have given me, I'm going to honor it. I'm going to do my best by it. And they've changed my life forever. They really have. My life it'll never be the same. I just want to thank everybody for everything they've done for me and my family and my generations. It's just so beautiful.
You touched a ton of lives already, but let me ask you this. A quick side note here. As my mother says, parentheses, which I don't know where you get that from, but a quick side note. You talk about love and being loved. What do you think about the state of our country right now where it's so divided? Everyone, on one side hates the other side hates the other side. There's so much division, hatred on social media, bitter guys like me on podcasts. What do you think about what's going on in this country right now?
Ma'am, forgive my French, but it's all bullshit. All that stuff that people are telling us that we're different and that you this and you that. There's always been Republicans, there's always been Democrats, there's always been left and right, and we've always made it through it, right? So all these people telling us these differences and the division and it's bullshit. It's total BS. And what it is because of the internet and because of cell phones, we can communicate our differences and we can all go into these corners and find whatever we believe in. We can find somebody that agrees with us, whatever it is. I don't care if you like candy corn and you want to rule the world. You think candy corn can change society. You can find somebody. You could probably find thousands of people around the world who agree with you. So when you have that ability to be in a corner instead of just opening up and listening and believing in yourself and believing in love and believing that, hey, we're all humans. We're all trying to make a buck, feed our kids and have some fun at the same time, maybe. And you open up to that and you stop listening to what these people are telling us. Oh, we're so divided. We're this and that. But if somebody does something in a grocery store or something, everybody jumps in. You see a Hispanic, a black guy, a white guy jump in and we all do that. We're not divided then, are we? If somebody's doing something crazy at a school, we're not divided then. We're all trying to save our children. It's BS. We have to stop listening to all these people tell us about these differences. We know right from wrong. We know right from wrong. The biggest mistake and the worst thing that ever happened in centuries is when homegirl, I forget her name, said alternative facts. When you start talking about alternative facts and believing that whatever you believe in is the truth, and there's not a scientific yes or no, and you can live in this gray area all the time, and block out all the other words and all the other things that make sense. That's when you can go into a corner and not have to conform a little bit to society and to love and to know what's right and wrong. It's BS. We know that we are human. We know right and wrong. We know when I go and see my fellow man or woman that I will protect and I love them. And we know as Americans, if anybody ever mess with us, we're gonna rise up together and we're gonna defend our country. So it's total BS that people believe these things, that we are so divided when we're not. Stop listening to what the people tell you are and know who you are. You're a good human. You're a good citizen. You know what I'm saying? Think about Halloween. When Halloween roll around, we all give out candy. We're not like, are you Republican? Are you Democrat? I'm not going to give you no candy. No, we know that it's a holiday and it's love and it's giving. So come on, man. All we have to do is relax. That's what I tell people. Relax, man. Relax. As far as we know, this is it. We only got one life. Stop living it like a jerk.
More words of wisdom from Kevin Ford.
Yeah,
you know that people pay Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker, they pay him $50,000 an hour. Just when Kevin Ford has better advice.
Kevin doesn't even have to say anything. He just has this history now of 4 million people. 4 million people are honoring you, and I think the reason they are honoring you is because there is so much need for recognition of decency, and people can organize around that. That's what happened. I think that's what happened in this situation also, that everybody feels, man, this guy is really...
You know what it is? He's authentic. He's genuine.
Not just genuine, but he's also... He also, so many people deserve good luck. And when one or two get good luck, everybody's like rejoicing for that person, because we all deserve good luck.
We all do.
I mean, everybody who works in Burger Kings, damn it, I dare to say this, damn it, when they're working there for 27 years, they deserve a big award of some kind to recognize them. You know what I mean? And
yes,
Burger King did not do that, but the people did it. The people did it.
So Kevin, Karm led me in. Is Burger King a bunch of cheap asses or what?
Look, everybody's trashing Burger King. Burger King is a wonderful company. I don't think they had anything.
He knows where his paycheck's coming from.
I'm still trying to have a job. So they're a wonderful company. I understand that if they give me, people asking me, did they speak to you? Have they given you official this? Neither HMS or Burger King has pulled me to the side and said anything to me, because they know if they give me some, they're going to have to give something to all their employees. So they just want this to kind of go away. And, that's fine with me. I'm happy with that goodie bag, a few pens that I gave to my fellow employees and stuff. I like those Lifesavers that they gave me, but
by the way,
they saved your life.
By the way, I don't know if he still is, but the CEO of Burger King was like a super young Jewish kid, like 30-something. Is he still the CEO?
I don't know nothing about Burger King. I know
they're based here in Miami. They're based in Miami.
Really?
Yeah, they're based right by the airport.
But he says that there is a head company above it.
Yeah, there's another company that does all their hiring called HMS Host.
But the human resources.
These guys are missing.
Joel,
they hire. Yeah, they hire. It's like a outsourced, like a freelance. They hire the employees. But do
they do the minimum wage?
No, we're a union, so we earn way more than what they earn outside. We make not enough with how all the gas prices and the food and all that stuff. Yeah. That's why I have to drive for Uber Eats and stuff on my days off just to pay the rent here, But they pay better, probably anywhere from $3 to $7 more an hour than what you would get outside. But that's not the thing
enough.
You earn when you consider the health care that you get, eye care, dental, and all that stuff. You earn it's a pretty good job.
100%. So. Did you hear? Now this is a great PR moment for these companies. Did you hear any from McDonald's at all?
I ain't heard from nobody.
Maybe they can't find your number. They need to call me.
No. Yeah.
Who's got the special sauce? Is that Burger King or McDonald's? Who's got the special sauce?
I think that's McDonald's. They have some kind of special sauce. It really ain't nothing but Thousand Island dressing that they put on the Big Mac. So, but
And
we don't.
and you got the notice of some celebrities too. I think David Spade, the comedian, he donated $5,000, right? Did you talk to him at all?
Yeah, a few messages back and forth, and he actually just sent me a voice message because he was on Kimmel with Dana Carvey, and he talked about me, but I guess he forgot to say my name, so he's awesome. He called and apologized for not saying my name, and he said, "You're known as Burger King guy from now on." By the way, so he's cool. But yeah, that's an interesting story. Years ago, when I worked for the snack bar, Flavor Flav from Public Enemy. Yeah, he lives out there, and he's constantly out there, and that tells you about people who are always kind of how we have gotten to the point to where we always look for the negative instead of look for the positive. I had just put my drawer in. He was my first customer, and he came up and he gave me a $10 bill and paid for his stuff, and then I gave him his change. It was like $3, and he puts his head to the side and he goes, "Come on, man, where's my change?" And I was like, "That's all your change, Flav. It's $3." And he goes, "Come on, man. I gave you 20. Where's my change?" And I said, "No, Flav, I'm serious. Your change is only $3. And luckily he was my only customer. So I opened the drawer and I said, "See, I don't even have a $20 bill." And he goes, "Oh, all right, fam. All right, cool. Sorry about that, man." He takes his $3 and leaves. But he was ready to go off on me. Thank goodness he was my only customer. He was ready to trip out. And this guy's rich. You know what I'm saying?
Flavor Flav, Karm?
Yeah.
Karm, you're not down with Flavor Flav?
But
Karm doesn't know Flavor Flav. How about Public Enemy? He wears a big clock on his. He wears a clock.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tell you that working with people, it's not the same as working on your computer. When you work with people, you run into all sorts of people, and you have to be very careful. I'm sure that sometimes people are not the easiest to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
That's an understatement.
And bring the anger from somewhere else.
The nicest customer celebrity that I did deal with was Goldberg.
The wrestler?
The wrestler, yeah. He came in, this was a long time ago, over 15 years ago. He came in, it was at the height of his career and stuff. He was big time then. And my camera on my phone, I was going to take a picture. He was going to give me a picture and it ran out. And I was like, "Oh," I said, "Thanks," just shook his hand. And he came back with an autographed picture and gave it to me. He was a nice celebrity. Yeah, he's a nice celebrity I've ever ran into.
Wow, that's awesome.
I just took a picture with Master P 2 nights ago, so he was pretty nice. But
all the celebrities go through the Vegas airport, right?
May I say something? One thing that I don't like about us human beings is that once somebody is in a situation like you, then everybody wants to be your friend. You know what I mean? I don't like that. Be my friend. I believe in rainy day friends. You know what I mean? When things are not going well, when you really need help, when you are really down and out. That's how I survived. My parents' rainy day friends saved me, okay? But when you go through this and all the TV stations suddenly sit down, here is your daughter, da-da-da-da-da-da. It's to me, that's bullshit to me.
Yeah, Karm. She's letting loose today, Kevin.
I know.
No, because I love him. I think I'm trying to protect him for some reason. I don't know why.
Kevin, last question. Do you gamble in Vegas?
I used to gamble. I used to have a gamble addiction because my mom was a gambleaholic, so she handed it down to me and my brothers and sisters. But no, I haven't gambled for about 5, 6 years now, and now I'm like, why did I ever gamble? And I tell people that all the time. If you come to Vegas and leave your money in your room, taking a allotted amount down, you know what I'm saying? No credit cards, go put whatever, enjoy the shows, enjoy the food, walk around in the sunshine, and have fun, and you'll have a good time. Other than that,
you just
they
made
didn't build
Carmela.
these casinos off of losers.
Just made
winners,
you just made Carmela very nervous. She's going to yell at you not to gamble. Go ahead, Karm.
No. I don't believe in gambling.
Yeah, you don't want Kevin to gamble. Don't dare gamble that 300,000. Do not dare gamble that 300,000.
It'll never happen. I'm gonna save for my grandkids and children's future. That's all I'm gonna do with that.
Instead of for your grandkids, and save a little for your old age. Take it from an old lady.
Yes,
you cannot work forever, and save it for your old age.
Yes, ma'am.
Karm, I can honestly say that Kevin is my favorite guest of all time. Do you feel the same?
That.
Do you feel the same? Do you feel the same?
No, this is almost like one of those, they have those specials on Christmas, the miracle stories.
Yeah.
This is one of those miracle stories. And I
you
don't
guys
even
gonna
know.
Make me cry.
No, that's true. Think about it. Think about it. How many people are treated exactly the same way that you were? Maybe tens of thousands of just Burger King workers. And they work for 25 years and they have nothing, You just were an exception to this, and it's a wonderful exception.
But it's because of the kind of person he is. I think he opened up the lane to receive all this stuff.
Thank you.
Kevin, what's your Instagram is the Keep 777?
Yep. The Keep 777. And my Twitter is Norinrad 777.
What is Twitter?
Yeah. Norinrad. That's Silver Surfer's real name. Norinrad 777.
Okay, I'm gonna look you. I'm gonna follow you on Twitter. Hey, I'm a huge fight fan, so I might be out. She doesn't know this, but my boy Nate Diaz fights September 10th.
Yes?
Can't miss that fight. If I do, I'm gonna hit you up. Either way, I'm gonna connect you and Karm via email.
No.
Thank you very much.
I need you maybe out there because you have a large family. Maybe you can help me out because sometimes I genuinely panic. My friend is 83. She will be in October, 83, 22nd of October. And she literally has nobody there. And she even needs, she needs now some help. Somebody who would come in every few weeks and clean out her mess.
Karm, you told me always ask the guests how we can help them. Now you're asking, you're telling Kevin how he can help you.
It would be my pleasure to check on her. Just warn her that I'm coming. Some big old brother coming toward her house. I'm not trying to get shot. But just let her know I'm on the way.
We'll let her know.
No, but let me say something. You would hear from me way before. And
Kevin would do it. He's the one guy that would.
I know.
I wouldn't do it, but Kevin will do it.
I know he would do it with the 2 jobs and with the other things.
I'll find time. I would tell you I hurt my back today.
But you are the first one. I truly don't know anybody who lives in Las Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people do.
And it makes me very anxious because my husband is in a wheelchair.
Oh, here we go. Kevin, every time I say goodbye, this woman just goes on and on and on.
I want to explain to you.
You bring this up
I should be really going there. She cannot travel anymore. She's very, very frail. She weighs 88 pounds and she's petite, but she weighs very little. And I cannot go there because I don't go anywhere overnight because my husband is in a wheelchair. And I have somebody right now watching him,
Mm-hmm.
So I come out here and I forget about what's happening at home, but I cannot leave to go to Las Vegas. So I cannot go there and I am her closest relatives and I'm not a relative. So
there you have it. That's a story.
Yeah, and she lives in Henderson.
If you ever came out to Vegas and got around in all this sunshine, you wouldn't ever go back home. So
I am in Miami.
People come out here and retire. They love it out here. So, but I'll check on her for sure. And it'll
Thanks.
be my
I'll
pleasure to
talk to
help
you
her out.
when I need you.
Kevin,
I love it.
in Yiddish, there's a word mensch. It means like a great guy. You're a mensch.
Oh,
He
well,
doesn't even
thank you.
speak Yiddish. He's showing off that he's not such a great Jew either.
Carmela, what's your famous saying? He's a gentleman and a
And what a gentleman and a scholar.
Kevin, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much for joining us. Karm,
Thank you
a
for
final
having me.
word.
Well, I'm very happy I met you. And usually I always tell Joel, don't ask for favor from people. Ask what you can do for them. Because I was like for 40 years a social worker and tried to help people. And I said, don't ask what they can do for you. Ask what you can do for them. So now I end up asking you what you can do for me.
Well, Kevin, if we can help you, let us know.
Yeah, if you need anything
if
from
we
us.
can help you and run the advisor by Karm, no matter what she says. I'm going to connect you guys via email. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back with the new schmooze.
Welcome back. It's time for the news schmooze.
Karm, honestly, he was the sweetest guy I think I've ever met. What do you think of Kevin? How do you categorize him from a
if we continue like that, soon he will not be a person. He will be a symbol,
a saint,
a symbol of everybody deserves this, and he is like getting it, and we are all rejoicing and rooting for him.
The thing that I love about him is he's like, hey, hate my job. I mean, he's super honest. And who would not hate their job working at Burger King?
And he described it in detail, how he cut his finger and
cut his hands. It's hard work. It's hard work. I grew up with a bunch of jappy guys who whine about...
nobody. You are the whining leader.
Let me tell you something. I have a lot of friends that just sit and whine with these cushy, high-paying jobs. I have reason to whine. On to the news schmooze. Curious about your take on this, Karm. Twitter warned just now that governments around the globe are asking Twitter to remove content or snoop on private details of accounts at an alarming rate. The social media company, Twitter again, revealed in a new report that it fielded a record number of legal demands, nearly 60,000 during a 6-month period last year, from local, state, or national governments that wanted Twitter to remove content from accounts or reveal confidential information such as direct messages or user locations. Are you worried with quote-unquote big tech that you are being compromised? You're on Facebook.
I'm not. I am not on Facebook. I am nowhere. I am not on anything, and I think that there is reason to be paranoid here. There is a reason. Suppose is it like one party or one side or both sides?
It's everyone, Karm. No one is safe. But I mean, I think that this new age of technology, I think this is our demise, to be honest.
Joel, you are the most addicted, and you always make this
I'm making sure our show is staying on track. Karm, on to the next story.
By the way, are we taping? Last week we weren't taping.
Yes, we're taping. It's a good question.
No, it's a good time for this question.
Yes, an hour into it. That's a great time to ask. Miami, where we live, is considering moving homeless people out of the streets and into
island?
Into city-sponsored encampments on an island next to a sewage plant. Earlier this year, Miami-Dade's Board of County Commissioners asked city officials to pitch ideas on how to mitigate its homeless population in the city, which was recently recorded at 1,525 people. By the way, I was at that meeting.
By the way, it's not a lot of people.
They're going to move them to the northern...
It's not a lot of people for all those millions.
They're going to move them to the northern tip of Virginia Key, which is basically Key Biscayne, at a sewage treatment plant next to one by a biking trail. What do you think of this kind of leadership?
Horrendous.
Treating them like animals, corralling them into a corner.
No, that's not what's horrible.
There's a guy in Miami.
If they would put them on downtown Miami or in a nice section or a nice park, no. But to put them on a sewage plant in an island with a sewage plant and they cannot get off the island.
No, it's like being on Gilligan's Island. Anyway, the guy who's leading this effort is named Joe Carollo. He's been a commissioner for 100.
Oh, the same Joe Carollo?
Yeah. And he said at the meeting, he's like, if you love homeless people so much, why don't you adopt a homeless person? And actually tried to start a campaign called, not adopt, it was just called Adopt a Homeless. Like, it was very derogatory. Adopt a homeless.
Like not even a person.
By the way, he fights with this guy, Billy Corben, who did Miami Cocaine Cowboys on Netflix. And his real name is Cohen. So instead of calling him Billy Corben, he calls him Little Billy Cohen. Little anti-Semite, this Joe Carollo. On to the last question. This is a personally devastating story. Bad news for Halloween enthusiasts. This year, you might be out of luck in the candy aisle. We're not going to be able to fully meet consumer demand. This is coming from the CEO of Hershey, Michelle Buck. The problem, consumers are demanding more regular and Halloween-themed candy than Hershey can make, at least right now. The supply chain is the issue. They had to reduce their production of other less popular items,
right, I get
like
it.
the Choco Taco, which they cut out altogether. They say that demand for sweets surged during the pandemic and has only gotten stronger.
Yeah, because that's like a comfort food.
I found a place here called Thrice. That's the name of the family that owns it. Thrice Ice Cream. And they make chocolate chip cookie sandwiches. Unbelievable. I went right after work yesterday. I have an addiction. Bought 4 of them. We'll be right back with 3 questions for Grandma.
So look where I'm looking.
My belly. Fat. Right back.
It's time now for 3 questions for Grandma.
And Karm, we got to wrap this up pretty quickly here. First question from Vita Aaliyah. How do viruses start? Which is sad because obviously she's COVID is still on this little poor girl's mind, probably traumatized for life. How do viruses start? It's kind of like the Big Bang Theory. Like there was the Big Bang. We knew Arno Penzias. He's from our hometown. He won the Nobel Prize for the Big Bang Theory. But what happens the moment before a virus starts?
Well, the earth is very old, and these viruses are around, but every now and then they attack people. Before they were attacking bats.
My understanding of the question was, how does COVID start? Which I guess the virus infects your body. But my take on the question was, how does a virus begin?
I know what.
We don't have time for further explanation. Number 2 comes from Zizi Elise. How does a shower work?
That's a little easier.
Water pressure.
Water pressure, and then there are little holes in the top, and then the water comes out through those holes.
Judah Mack, who scraped his chin at camp yesterday, was unavailable for comment on this, so we got an extra question. Why does the sky go from blue, sometimes it's orange, at night it's pitch black? How does the sky always change colors is the question.
But it's the sun. The sun makes it orange. For example, when you look at sundown towards the bay here in Miami, you see that before the sun, sets, the sky is a little reddish from the light of the sun, and air. The reason it's blue during the day is because the air at a large distance seems blue. That's how I understand. And at night it's black because there is no light to light it up.
And we are done. Love you, America. Thanks for joining us. Kevin Ford is a national treasure. Karm, you're a national treasure. He says to enjoy all these moments, which he's right. Enjoy the present. Love you, America. We're back next